Olivia pulled up the floral invoice on her tablet. The order was massive. Roses, lilies, orchids. Everything Emma had dreamed of. The total was $12,000. According to the invoice, I was responsible for $4,000. My ex-husband was covering $8,000. The vendor called this morning, Olivia explained. They said you cancelled your payment and refused to return their calls. They were threatening to remove all the flowers if the balance wasn't settled immediately. I pulled out my phone and opened my banking app. I never received an invoice. Show me the email address they sent it to. She turned the tablet toward me. The email wasn't mine. It was close. Patricia Morrison 2024 at Gmail instead of Patricia Morrison 2024 at Gmail. One hyphen and one number different. That's not my email, I said. Someone created a fake account. Michael's jaw clenched. That's not just sabotage. That's fraud. They tried to make it look like you were destroying your daughter's wedding. The ceremony was supposed to start in 90 minutes. If the vendor pulled the flowers, Emma would be devastated. And everyone would blame me. I wanted to scream. I wanted to find Vanessa and my ex-husband and demand answers. But I couldn't. Not yet. Because if Emma found out about this chaos before she walked down the aisle, her entire wedding day would be ruined. I took a deep breath and looked at Olivia. Can you stall the vendor? I'll pay the balance right now. She nodded. I'll call them. Michael put a hand on my shoulder. Do you trust me? I didn't know him. But he'd protected me twice already this morning. Yes. Then let me handle something, he said. Stay here with Olivia. Don't let anyone see you yet. He walked toward the venue manager's office. Minutes later, I heard raised voices echoing down the marble hallway. Then I heard her. Vanessa's voice. Sharp and furious. She's not supposed to be here yet. Where is she? My heart hammered in my chest. She was hunting for me. Vanessa stormed down the corridor, her heels clicking like gunshots on the marble floor. She had her phone raised, camera pointed forward, narrating loudly like she was recording a documentary. We're trying to find her before she ruins everything, she said dramatically. Emma is already so stressed, and now this. Security guards moved closer to me. Olivia stepped in front of me protectively. Then Michael stepped out into the hallway, blocking Vanessa's path. Why did you try to pay me to delay her this morning? He asked calmly. Vanessa froze. Her smile flickered. Just for a second. I don't know what you're talking about. Michael pulled out his phone and pressed play. Vanessa's own voice filled the hallway. Just keep her outside until after the vows start. She doesn't need to be seen walking in. The color drained from her face. She recovered quickly, forcing a laugh. That's taken out of context. I was trying to protect Patricia from embarrassment. By paying me to make her late to her daughter's wedding. Vanessa's jaw tightened. She's unstable. Everyone knows that. The venue manager, a tall man named Walter, stepped forward. He'd been listening from his office doorway. I'd like to see the emails you sent our staff, he said calmly. Vanessa's confident mask slipped. What emails? Walter pulled out his laptop. The ones instructing security to remove the mother of the bride. The ones requesting she be seated behind a pillar. The ones claiming she has a history of violent behavior at events. He turned the screen toward her. These emails came from an address that looks like ours, but the domain is slightly different. That's called phishing. It's illegal. Vanessa laughed nervously. Someone must have hacked us. It happens all the time. Walter wasn't smiling. The emails were sent from an IP address registered to your home address. The hallway went silent. Vanessa's eyes darted around, looking for an escape route. Walter asked one simple question that cut through all the lies. Who benefits if the mother of the bride is publicly removed from this wedding? No one answered. But everyone was looking at Vanessa. Bailey, the bridesmaid, ran down the hall. Emma's asking for her mom. She's getting really upset. My heart clenched. I started to move, but Olivia grabbed my arm. Wait, she whispered. Let me bring her to you. Privately. 2 minutes later, Emma appeared. She was in her white robe, hair half done, makeup perfect but her eyes red from crying. Mom, she whispered. Where have you been? Dad said you didn't want to come. He said you were ashamed of me for inviting you. Those words broke something inside me. I pulled her into a hug. Baby, I would never miss this day. Never. Then why did you send those messages? She asked, voice muffled against my shoulder. Why did you say you wanted to hide? I pulled back and looked at her. I didn't send any messages. Someone pretended to be me. Emma's face crumpled in confusion. What? I showed her Bailey's phone. The fake messages. The altered number. Someone has been impersonating me for weeks, I said quietly. They've been trying to turn you against me. Emma stared at the screen. Her hands started shaking. Who would do that? I didn't want to tell her. Not yet. Not before her wedding. But Emma was smart. She looked past me and saw Vanessa standing in the hallway, phone clutched tight, face pale. It was her, wasn't it? Emma whispered. Before I could answer, Vanessa's voice cut through the air. Emma, sweetheart, your mother is confused. The stress of the divorce affected her. We've been trying to protect you from this. Emma turned slowly. Protect me from what? From her instability, Vanessa said gently. We didn't want to tell you, but she's been struggling. The doctors said she might have episodes. My mouth fell open. What doctors? What episodes? The ones who diagnosed you last month, Vanessa continued smoothly. Your ex-husband was very worried about you. We all were. Emma looked at me, uncertainty flickering in her eyes. That's when I realized how deep this went. They hadn't just tried to sabotage one day. They'd been building a narrative for months. Making me look unstable, unreliable, dangerous. So that when I finally reacted, no one would believe me. Emma, I said carefully. What else did they tell you about me? My daughter's eyes filled with tears. Dad said you were getting treatment. That you didn't want anyone to know because you were embarrassed. Treatment for what? A nervous breakdown, Emma whispered. After the divorce. He said you blamed him and Vanessa for everything. That you couldn't accept reality. I felt like I'd been punched. They'd spent months convincing my daughter I was mentally ill. So anything I said could be dismissed as delusion. Did you ever see me act unstable? I asked quietly. Emma hesitated. No. But Dad said you were good at hiding it. Vanessa stepped closer. Emma, your mother needs help. We didn't want to ruin your wedding day with this, but since she's here causing problems. I'm not causing problems, I interrupted. I was invited. By my daughter. But the vendors said you refused to pay. Because someone used a fake email address, I shot back. Vanessa smiled sadly. Sweetheart, this is exactly what the doctors warned us about. Paranoid delusions. She thinks everyone is conspiring against her. Emma looked torn, scared, confused. I had to give her proof. Real, undeniable proof. Walter, the venue manager, stepped forward. I have something to show everyone. He opened his laptop and turned it toward the group. These are the metadata files from the emails sent to our staff. Vanessa's smile tightened. I don't think we need to. They were all sent from the same IP address, Walter continued. Registered to a home in Shaker Heights. The account holder is Vanessa Preston. Vanessa's face went white. That's impossible. Someone used my Wi-Fi. All of the emails were sent between midnight and 3 a.m. over the past 6 weeks, Walter said. During hours when your husband confirmed you were home. Emma stared at Vanessa. You did this. No. I was trying to help you. Your mother is sick, Emma. This is all part of her illness. Michael stepped forward. Then explain why you tried to pay me to delay her this morning. I didn't. He played the voicemail again. Vanessa's voice filled the hallway, cold and clear. Just keep her outside until after the vows start. Emma's face changed. The doubt vanished, replaced by something harder. You tried to keep my mom from my wedding, she said quietly. Vanessa tried to recover. I was protecting you from embarrassment. You don't understand. Stop, Emma said. Her voice was shaking but firm. Just stop talking. She turned to me. Mom, I'm so sorry. I should have known better. I should have asked you directly. It's not your fault, I said. They were very convincing. Bailey spoke up. Emma, there's more. The flower vendor issue. The fake emails. The security alert. It's all documented. Walter nodded. I'm required to report attempted fraud to the authorities. Vanessa's mask finally cracked. Her voice turned sharp and desperate. This was Brandon's idea, she shouted, pointing at my ex-husband who had just appeared at the end of the hallway. He wanted her gone. He paid for everything. I was just helping him. Brandon froze. His face went red, then pale. Emma looked at her father like she'd never seen him before. Dad! Brandon opened his mouth, but nothing came out. He looked trapped. Guilty. Caught. The hallway fell silent except for the distant sound of classical music playing in the ceremony hall. Walter pulled up another screen on his laptop. These are bank transfers. From Brandon Preston's account to various services. The screen showed payments to a graphic designer for email template creation. Payments to a tech consultant for communication management. Even a payment to a private investigator labeled background documentation. Emma's hand flew to her mouth. Dad, what is this? Brandon finally found his voice. It's not what it looks like. I was trying to protect you from her manipulation. Your mother has been poisoning you against me for years. By lying about her. Emma's voice rose. By making everyone think she's crazy. She turned you against me after the divorce. She never said anything bad about you. Emma screamed. Not once. Even when you left us for Vanessa, Mom told me to forgive you. The truth hung in the air like smoke. Brandon had spent months and thousands of dollars trying to erase me from Emma's life. Not because I was dangerous, but because he wanted me gone. And he'd almost succeeded. Emma turned to Vanessa and Brandon. Her wedding dress rustled as she moved. Her voice was steady now. Certain. This is my wedding day, she said. The happiest day of my life. And you tried to ruin it. Brandon reached for her. Emma, please. No, she said, stepping back. I don't want to hear excuses. You tried to humiliate my mother. You lied to me for months. You made me doubt someone who has never given me a reason to. She looked at the security guards. I want them to leave. Vanessa gasped. Emma, you can't be serious. We paid for half this wedding. Then I'll pay you back, Emma said coldly. But you're not staying. Either you leave now, or I call the police myself. Walter nodded to security. Please escort Mr. and Mrs. Preston from the property. Brandon tried to argue. Vanessa started crying. But the guards moved forward, professional and firm. Within minutes, they were gone. The hallway felt lighter somehow. Cleaner. Emma collapsed into a chair, shaking. Olivia rushed forward with water. Bailey wrapped a blanket around Emma's shoulders. I knelt beside my daughter. I'm so sorry, I whispered. I never wanted any of this. Emma grabbed my hand. You have nothing to apologize for. They did this. Not you. She looked up at me with tears streaming down her face. I almost lost you, she said. I almost believed them. But you didn't, I said firmly. When it mattered, you chose truth. Bailey handed Olivia a folder. There's one more thing. Olivia opened it and her eyes widened. This is a cease and desist letter. Drafted in Patricia's name. But signed for by Vanessa. Emma stood up. What does that mean? It means she tried to legally prevent your mother from contacting you, Olivia explained. She forged your mother's signature to make it look like Patricia was harassing you and agreed to stay away. The room went silent. Emma's face hardened. I want copies of everything. Every email, every payment, every lie. I'm pressing charges. Walter nodded. I've already contacted the authorities. This goes beyond wedding drama. This is criminal. For the first time all morning, I felt something other than fear. I felt hope. Emma looked at me. Mom, will you walk with me? Walk where? Back into my wedding, she said. The way it should have been from the start. The bridal party had gathered in the hallway. Bailey, 2 other bridesmaids, and Emma's future sister-in-law. They all looked shaken but supportive. Emma took my hand. I want everyone to see you. I want them to know you're my mother and I'm proud of that. We walked together down the marble corridor toward the ceremony hall. The doors were still closed. Guests were waiting inside. Olivia touched my arm. The photographer is here. Would you like a picture? Emma didn't wait for me to answer. She pulled me in front of the camera, both of us still in our regular clothes, hair messy from stress, makeup smudged from tears. The photographer captured it anyway. Mother and daughter. Together. Visible. The flash went off and Emma whispered, "This is my favorite photo already." The ceremony was beautiful. Emma walked down the aisle on her grandfather's arm since Brandon was gone. She glowed. Her husband cried. The vows were perfect. And I sat in the front row. Not hidden behind a pillar. Not invisible. Right where I belonged. During the reception, several guests approached me. Some apologized for believing the lies. Others admitted they'd been confused by the conflicting stories. One of Brandon's cousins pulled me aside. I knew something was wrong, she said. Brandon kept talking about how you were unstable, but every time I saw you, you seemed fine. I should have said something. It's okay, I told her. You didn't know. But inside, I wondered how many people had doubted the lies but stayed silent anyway. Later, Emma took the microphone for her speech. She thanked everyone for coming. She thanked her husband for choosing her. She thanked the vendors and the venue staff. Then she turned to me. And I want to thank my mom, Emma said, her voice catching, for showing me what strength looks like. As the reception continued, Walter found me near the dessert table. The police are investigating, he said quietly. They're taking this seriously. Identity fraud, attempted extortion, defamation. Your ex-husband and his wife could face criminal charges. I nodded, feeling numb. I just want it to be over. It will be, he promised. But you should also know, Vanessa tried to access the venue security footage this morning. She wanted to delete any evidence of her being here early. Did she succeed? No. Everything is backed up on remote servers. We have footage of her arriving at 6 a.m., talking to staff, and giving them the fake security alert. That footage would prove everything. Michael, the driver, found me an hour later. I'm heading out. But I wanted to say something. Thank you, I said. For everything. He shook his head. I've been driving for 20 years. I've seen a lot of bad behavior. But I've never seen someone fight lies the way you did today. I didn't fight, I said. I just refused to disappear. He smiled. Sometimes that's the same thing. Late in the evening, after most guests had left, Emma found me sitting alone at a table. You okay, Mom? I'm okay, I said. And I meant it. She sat down beside me. I was thinking about something. For the past year, I noticed Dad and Vanessa always had a story about you. Always. Anytime I mentioned you, they had an explanation for why you were difficult or unstable or manipulative. And you believed them. I started to, she admitted. Not because the stories made sense, but because they were constant. Every conversation. Every visit. It wore me down. I understood. That's how gaslighting works. Repetition makes lies sound like truth. But here's what I realized tonight, Emma continued. They spent so much energy convincing me you were the problem. But you never once tried to convince me they were. She was right. I'd never badmouthed Brandon or Vanessa. Even after the divorce. Even when it hurt. That's how I should have known, Emma said, tears filling her eyes. The person telling the truth doesn't have to keep repeating it. When Michael drove me home that night, I was exhausted, emotionally drained, but not defeated. That was the fastest collapse of a lie I've ever seen, he said as we pulled into my driveway. They made it too complicated, I replied. Too many moving parts. Eventually, something had to break. He nodded. And you stayed calm. That's what made the difference. If you'd screamed or cried or fought back, people would have believed their story about you being unstable. He was right. The best way to fight a lie is to stay still and let the truth move around you. As I got out of the car, I handed him an envelope. What's this? He asked. A thank you. You didn't have to help me. You could have just driven me and left. He opened it and saw the generous tip inside. His eyes widened. This is too much. No, I said. It's exactly right. I walked to my front door and turned back. You saved more than my day. You saved my relationship with my daughter. He waved as he drove away, and I stood on my porch for a moment, breathing in the cool night air. I was home. I was safe. I was still Emma's mother. The next morning, photos from the wedding started appearing on social media. Emma had posted dozens of them. Me and her, laughing during the reception. Me and her, dancing to our favorite song. Me and her, hugging while she cried happy tears. In every single photo, I was visible. Present. Loved. The people who'd tried to erase me. They weren't in a single frame. Vanessa had been removed from the wedding. Brandon had been escorted out. Their carefully crafted lies had collapsed in a matter of hours. And I had won. Not by destroying anyone. Not by seeking revenge. But by refusing to disappear. By standing still while the truth did its work. My phone buzzed with a text from Emma. I love you, Mom. Thank you for never giving up on me. I smiled and typed back. I never will. Because that's what mothers do. We show up. We stay visible. We refuse to be erased. Even when someone tries very, very hard to make us vanish. Especially then. I set my phone down and looked at the framed photo on my mantel. Emma and me. Taken yesterday in the hallway before the ceremony. Both of us messy and tearful and absolutely real. It was my favorite photo too. The one that proved I was exactly where I belonged. If you've ever had someone rewrite your story, or try to control your life, tell me where you're watching from in the comments. And if stories like this matter to you, quiet justice, truth over manipulation, like this video and subscribe for more real confessional stories like this. Your support keeps these stories alive.